So before we really take a deep dive, what is tribalism? Because some people aren't familiar with that term.
Right. And it's okay because a lot of these commonly used terms actually are used in different senses. And that's okay. It's kind of a mistake, I think, to try to stipulate a single meaning for a term when in fact there are multiple meanings in use. And people use them for different purposes. So when I talk about tribalism, I want to stipulate a specific meaning for a specific purpose. So I want to talk about this way in which our group identities impact the way we make moral judgments and impact the way we make epistemological judgments or judgments about knowledge or rationality. So in that sense, I think of just a tribe as just a social group with which we identify based on some characteristic. It can be kind of arbitrary. It could be religion, it could be ethnicity, it could be a shared interest in the sports team, right? All these different ways in which we can identify with a group. And then tribalism is a set of behaviors and attitudes that are associated with this identification with that tribe. So part of the process involves identification with a tribe. It gives us a sense of who us is, who we are, our group identity, in contrast to some defined other, some of them. So it sets up an us-them distinction. And so this set of tribal behaviors and attitudes has to do with, on the one hand, moral judgments. We tend to think that judgments of our tribe are better, are more justified, more reasonable, and that judgments of those outside the tribe are somehow compromised, or they're more ignorant, or they're worse people. They have worse motives, and so on, and so on. And then there's this epistemological side, or the kind about knowledge, where we tend to view ourselves as holding the reasonable standpoint. Like we're connected to the facts and we understand things well. And the other side, when they differ from us, it's because they are either ignorant or they're cognitively compromised in some way, or like blinded, or they're biased, or they've been fed a bunch of lies, right? Mm-hmm. So it's that set of pattern of associations, both in our judgments about the moral status of our own actions and judgments versus other people, and the status of the rationality of other people, that I call tribalism, or I should say that's tribal psychology. And that's the sense in which I'm using it. If you ask anthropologists or cognitive scientists or other sorts of professionals how they might use that term, they might use a different set of terms. Some people often will also, what I call tribalism, they'd call kind of negative tribalism or highly polarized tribalism. So they'll focus on the negative stuff and call that tribalism, but I'm not doing that.
So